You're listening to The Hardpoint with Onexpunchxdad and Code Rome's.
Welcome back to The Hardpoint, episode number 56. 56, I got my voice back. I can talk. 56th. I can talk again. I'm alive.
Can't talk.
50, 60 cent. I'm
You don't
alive.
sound like Long Black Train this week.
Well, long black train.
Yeah, that song you were about to sing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that song.
You don't really?
Wait,
It's
what's-
like the country singer that has like the crazy deep voice. Clint Black, I think. Really?
Don't know him.
God, I'm not even gonna try and do
That
it.
was pretty good. I would have. That sounds like it would be right. My name is Josh. I go by Onexpunchxdad online.
My name's Cody. I go by Big C Murd.
Big C Murd. He's grown on us. He's growing. He's growing on us. Welcome back to The Hardpoint, everybody. We're officially. I think this is our first record in the month of December. Is that correct? No.
Nah, last
No.
week
That's right. Last week was man.
we've talked to Christmas.
That's true. That's true. We gave our Christmas, our introductory Christmas podcast. That's okay.
We also
though.
teased last week that we were going to be in person, and we don't appear to be
That's
in person.
That is true. So last week when I recorded the podcast, I was smack in the middle of being sick, but I was planning on being better by the weekend so I could come and see C-Murd and cut a real life episode. Did not get better right away. Stayed sick up until about 2 days ago, and then finally broke through the wall. But now I'm back, baby. I went to the gym today. That's how good I was feeling.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got my my strength back.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that felt good. It always feels
What'd
good.
you
You always feel like such a useless piece of crap. You know, whenever you're sick and you can't get to the gym. Some people go to the gym while they're sick, and that is disgusting to me.
Yeah, that's not right.
I thought about it one day when I was starting to feel better, which I'm glad I didn't because I wasn't better. But I was like, dude, I am gonna be hacking all over the gym equipment. It's a super spreader event if I go. So I stayed home.
That's not keeping your fellow man in mind.
It really isn't. It really isn't. I honestly, yeah, it just feels very highly inconsiderate and gross.
Yeah.
Especially you say what you want about the pandemic, but we learned a little bit about how germs spread and how unclean the world around us is. So, just be considerate. If you're sick, stay home. And
What's your take on wiping down a piece of machinery after you use it, but you weren't super sweaty? You didn't leave it in a state of covered in sweat, but you were just on it. Are you wipe down machine every time, no matter what? Do you never wipe down the machine, or is it only if you make it all sweaty?
So it depends, right? If I only use it for 3 sets and I don't soil it,
Mm-hmm.
I might just keep walking. But however, I would say with that in mind, 90% of the time, I'm probably going to wipe it down. 90% of the time. That's just because you're in there, you're hot, your body's heating up. It seems like a lot. Now, in the summertime, it's non-negotiable. We are wiping.
Yeah.
Everything's getting wiped down, man. I even have been hot enough to wipe down my barbells occasionally. And that's, something that I think people don't think about. We wipe down the pad, right? The on the machines and stuff. A lot of people not wiping the bar,
What you're
handles.
touching.
Yeah, what your hands are actually touching.
Right.
Wiping the mat only accomplishes so much. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to lay in someone's sweat, but also if they picked a booger during the middle of their sets and then just
Pick their ass.
digging in their butthole. I don't want to touch that. Wipe that shit up.
You ever have the guy that wipes it down, but the thing was sopping wet?
Yeah.
So it's now just a layer of.
So now
That's even grosser to me.
now we have a different problem, right? Too much because sometimes you get it out, like ours are in like a bucket that has a little like butthole on top that you kind of like tear it off with. I will, if it comes out and it's clearly like dripping, because sometimes they're like towards the bottom of the bucket and there's a lot of moisture in there, I will try to find a way to like wring it out or not hit that machine with the full force of that moisture, right? Like get there, give it a little bit. You want to give it some, right? You want people to know you did something there.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not, don't leave that thing like beads of alcohol or whatever drenched all over it, because I'm just going to wipe it again. Oh,
now it needs to be dried. Oh, is it time?
It's time. Something about the sweat you were asking.
I think we may have concluded our gym sweat talk. I do have my first real homeowner issue that I've ran into, and I feel like you might have some experience.
Lay it on me, big guy. Let's it's tool time, maybe.
Our dishwasher has seemingly ceased to function out of nowhere. The buttons on top still light up. Normally, like you hit what you want and then you hit start and then you just shut it and that starts it.
Yeah.
But it ain't starting. So like the lights are still lighting up, but it's just not turning on. And so everywhere that I've read is like someone's probably going to charge you a couple $100 to come look at it, maybe repair it. But a new dishwasher is like $300. So is it worth? It's only 5 years. Is 5 years a long time for a dishwasher to work?
It feels like we ought to be getting a little more out of it at that point.
Yeah,
than just
that's what I thought.
5 years. My dishwasher is also on the fritz, unfortunately. Seems like that's in season. Mine runs, but it leaks terribly. And I don't know if there's a bad seal. And it also backs up into the right side of the sink with filthy water. Just disgusting water. So I think I have a larger plumbing issue. But for you, I would ask, and I know you're not much of an electrician, but did we go to YouTube? Did we try to troubleshoot, diagnose?
I did look, not YouTube. I found a couple things that said shut the breaker off, try and just kill the power to it, and then turn it back on, and maybe that'll kind of reset it. So I actually turned the breaker off like an hour ago. I kind of forgot about it. So I haven't tried that. I don't even know where to start with. I don't know. I look at it. I'm like, I don't know anything about this. It is like the worst appliance that could have gone out, though. For a family, not a huge family, but we're a family of 3. We have a 6-month-old. We go through a lot of dishes, and we don't have time to. We don't have the space right now to be like manually washing every dish we use. They're stacking up in there. It's been like a day, and our kitchen is already like, it looks like, I don't know, a fast food restaurant at the end of the night or something. Just things are everywhere.
Yeah. So like I'm with you. Like it is a lot when you start having to like, like precariously kind of stack dishes and like, especially if you use the frying pan, it's over, man. Like that's the whole countertop. Come on, man. You know what I mean? So it's a pain. It's a pain. We've grown, and just like kitchens don't feel like they're built to support, I don't know, hand washing your dishes as well as they used to. It's maybe not even like the convenience factor. It's just like, there's just kitchens don't have like massive dry racks anymore, I guess.
No, that's okay. It's not the washing of the dishes. It's
getting them
the
dry.
drying of the dishes. Yeah. That is my worst nightmare. Like hand towel drying each dish. Fucking kill me. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
It is horrible. It doesn't sound horrible. It is.
A bridge too far. It's just asking too much. It's just asking too much. Well, I hate that for you, bud, but in the scope of things that can go wrong with a house, there's bigger issues.
There is bigger. There's also smaller. A lot of smaller.
It's
I think I would rather my clothes washing machine go out
So
than
I
my
had
dishwasher.
I had that happen twice this year, and I will tell you that will bring your life to a screeching halt. When you can no longer go and get a clean T-shirt or a clean pair of pants, your life's trajectory changes a little bit in a way that is not happy. I'll tell you that.
Convert to a nudist
Or just to be a dirty guy.
or that.
Just be a dirty boy, just wear the dirty stuff.
Can't do that.
Can't do it either.
Can't do that.
Can't do it
No.
either. Hey,
What's new with you?
What's the? Oh, no. Let's see. I got a puppy. I did get a puppy.
Yeah, you did get a puppy.
I got a little girl puppy. I originally we had gotten, we had that dog kind of wander on our property a couple months ago. He ended up going back to his original owner. I'm hoping that it's a happy situation for him. But he's a sweet little boy. But yeah, I just decided it was time. And I wanted a dog, and not a little yippy dog. I wanted a proper dog. So I went to the shelter because that felt like the prudent thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, animal shelters, disgusting places. They very nice people doing a big, hard job, but holy hell, it smelled like just poop in there, just feces. Didn't love that. But anyway, they had a little litter of these little pointer dogs.
Winter. I'd never heard of that kind of dog until you've told me about it.
I believe English pointers. But yeah, I just kind of went up to the cage, and they were all kind of like crowding the gate. And for a second there, I was like, maybe I could take them all home. Immediately knew that was not the move. But yeah, one little girl kind of took a shine to me. I took.
Did they all part, and she was there all alone?
Yeah,
and
she
made
just
eye contact.
Kind of whipped her head around and was like, "Oh, no, she's a little puppy." But yeah, no, I was like, "Hey, I'll take her," and they grabbed her up, and for about the low cost of $37, I walked out of there with a puppy.
Pliskin 2?
Huh?
Pliskin 2?
No. It's a girl puppy, so I gave her a girl name. I named her Zelda.
Plisket. Ah, Zelda.
Plisket, yeah. Exactly.
I have on that topic very quickly. My dad told me, where is this? He told me something about Pliskin that I needed to mention to you.
Probably Escape from L.A.
Escape from New York.
Or Escape from New York. Yeah.
Snake Plissken. Do you know about this? That like Solid Snake is based off of Snake Plissken from that movie?
Absolutely, yes, I do.
Okay. I figured he was telling me about it, and I said, I don't know that. I'm positive Josh knows that. But I figured I would. I don't know.
Your dad's the homie for knowing that, actually. Yeah. Solid Snake and Big Boss famously based off Kurt. What's his name?
Kurt Russell, right?
Kurt Russell, yeah. Why am I always forgetting celebrity names on this goddamn podcast? I'm usually great at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kurt Russell's character in Escape from New York, Escape from L.A.
He showed me a picture of it. It is. I was like, yep, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
And then, so in Metal Gear Solid 2, he is pretending to be someone else because everyone thinks Solid Snake is dead. Spoiler alert. It's pretty early in the game, so it's not a huge spoiler. But he adopts the name Iroquois Pliskin, which is a nod to Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Do you like those movies? Like,
never seen them.
What?
Never seen Escape from New York or Escape from LA. Nope. Never seen. They're really, from what I can tell, I think I watched maybe 10 minutes of one on like TBS or something back many years ago. It's pretty like B movie, corny action.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not great. It's it's real kind of campy action stuff. So I mean, I would watch it if it was on. I feel like now that I'm a diehard Metal Gear fan, it seems like the thing to do. But
yeah, I'm surprised you haven't. If it was on TBS again, maybe you'll fly by.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Anyway, yeah. So I got me and Zelda, my little pointer puppy, and been training her, and she's doing fairly well. But she is a puppy, so I am kind of having to just like hover over her quite a bit and just make sure she is not like eating things she's not supposed to, peeing and pooping in places she ought not.
Typical puppy stuff.
Typical puppy stuff, man. But she's a sweet little girl, and yeah, I enjoy having her around. So,
all right, can't wait to meet Zelda.
She's great, man. You'll love her. But yeah, that's pretty much the biggest thing smoking for me right now. Just getting ready for Christmas, man. Are you done like Christmas shopping? Are you rounds complete for shopping?
My wife does most of that, so I don't even know.
Did she go buy her presents too?
You're talking about for her?
Yeah, like all the people you're gonna surprise like with a gift. Have you done that yet? Because I haven't. I haven't bought a single gift for a single person in the world at this point.
I don't know. Yeah, no, same there. I guess the only people I would buy one for would be like my wife or my daughter, who's 6 months. So she's not gonna know. Me and my wife usually don't buy each other gifts. We will just go do something.
Oh,
we'll go like usually like I don't know. We're more like experienced people than like thing people. So
that makes sense.
We usually just plan something together, something fun to go do, or maybe even like. I think one year we actually like booked a vacation, not on Christmas, but for a different time around Christmas. Yeah. I don't know. We've never done the gifting for some reason.
You never have like a.
But everybody else, like our family peripherals, gifts that come from us as a family.
Oh
she buys all those.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, I guess you're off the hook then.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That seems like a pretty good place to pivot to What Are You Crushing, where we talk about whatever we're watching, listening to, playing, reading, whatever. I'm going to go first.
Go ahead.
Nothing. Straight up nothing, man. I got sick. I continued to watch Pantheon. I have not finished it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have not really played any video games. I have not read anything. I have not adopted anything new. It sucks. All the music I've listened to for the past week, music I already knew about. I don't know what my problem is. I did not crush anything new. I didn't even watch a movie. I watched some stuff with my kids. I did watch some YouTube with them, and I will say watching fail videos, like people falling down or getting hit in the head but not dying, those are funny. Those are pretty funny. I crushed some of that. So like little crumb crushings this week for me. But
crumb
that's
crushing. We're going to watch, isn't your favorite Christmas movie Jingle All the Way?
That's up there. That's
or
up
one
there
of
for
them
me.
at least.
Yeah. That's like top 3 Christmas movies for me for sure.
All right. We're going to watch that. Taylor never heard of it, and I don't know if I've seen it, but I want to. So we watch. Her number one overall of all time is Santa Claus, the original one.
Okay, yeah. That seems like a popular choice as the Santa Claus.
It's good, man. Tim Allen, funny.
Really
funny.
Tim Allen is funny in that movie. I feel like that wasn't like our central Christmas movie. Like that was one like every family kind of has one that they kind of raise above the rest. You know what I mean? We were more Home Alone. We love Home Alone. And let's see what else. The Grinch. You know, I love The Grinch.
Yeah.
I've always loved The Grinch.
I do too.
I think we talked this last year. But yeah.
This feels like we talked this last week, maybe.
Yeah.
Feels ultra familiar.
I know. This podcast made the year go by fast.
Yeah, seriously. Okay. We talked about this briefly 2 nights ago. But I've delved in even deeper. The newest Make Them Suffer album.
Yeah?
Is a certified ass-reaming banger city album, dude. Like,
it's quite the setup.
It is awesome.
Damn.
Awesome.
Okay.
And it's got you and I, big fans of Doom Switch, big fans of Ghost of Me. There was another single that came out, and I remember saying on multiple occasions, if these singles are any indication of what we're going to get out of this album, we're in for a treat.
Were we right?
Dude, like every song just lives up to Doom Switch type hype. Like they're all good. start to finish. It's been my gym anthem the last few days. And I'm even sitting here like working, dude. I'll just run it front to back. Don't sleep on it.
I won't.
This is your PSA. Don't sleep on it.
That's a very threatening finger you threw up there. What got you back onto it? What was the thing that was like, I'm gonna circle back here? Or was it just like a thought you had, like, I need to go pay this a visit?
I don't even know. I think, when you like, I don't know, after you pick a song on Spotify, it'll just kind of like cycle through songs on your playlist or whatever songs that you've saved.
Yeah.
I think something by them popped up. Something made me go see if it was out. I don't even know. Something on the Spotify app just kind of led me back to them. And I was like, oh, this album dropped. And I remember before it dropped and those songs, we were heavy into those singles. I remember like waiting, man, I really want this album to come out. Because Doom Switch came out in 23, maybe? It's been out for a while.
Late 22, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
That song's been out for a hot minute because I remember when it came out.
So, here, I even got it right here. So I think it's a self-titled album. Make Them Suffer. And it looks like... Epitaph is the other single that is straight heat. Ghost of Me was 2023. Doom Switch, you're right, 2022. So this album has been, a couple years.
Yeah. And they did kind of do the piecemeal thing where they like wheel it out a song at a time and then finally the album comes out, and most of the singles have already kind of dropped by that point.
It's cool. And the album cover, it's like this black with like these gold flakes on it with just their name and plain print right in the middle. It's cool. Everything about it, I'm loving it. One of my favorite standout songs in there called Oscillator. Dude, get you some of that.
Okay.
So, anyways, there's your gem stuff.
I know what I'm listening to tomorrow.
That. And the only other thing I've been crushing is everybody tired of hearing me talk about Stalker yet?
No, man, let's Stalker minute. Let's go.
Dude, it's so good. I am progressing through this story. It is a long story, man. I am doing nothing but kind of very, like we talked about last time, a focused story, main mission, like only. I'm not doing a lot of exploring. I haven't done any side quests since early on. I'm pretty much beat a main mission and then just go on to the next one. But it's one of these where like a main mission could have 10 different do this, and then you do this, and you do this, then you go here, then you do that, then you do this. You could spend a couple hours, maybe a couple days doing like a mission.
Sure.
And I think there's 36 missions in total. So it's long. I don't know where I'm at in the grand scheme of like, I'd say I'm mid game. I have no idea. I have no reference for like how close to the beginning of the end I am though. But I just hit a big point where I can't really explain what happened, but everything took a turn. And it's just so good, man. I've never played a video game that literally, and I mean that the correct way, literally had me huffing and puffing and like out of breath at the end of this segment. I mean, like physically taxed,
like
because of what was going on in this game.
From the stress and the tension, or like your buy-in to the story. You're like, I'm worried about this character, or
that the stress and just the intensity of the immersion. Bloodsuckers, dude. They're these monsters that can go invisible. And then they just like appear right in front of you, and they're really hard to kill.
Hell no.
And I found that when you die, they spawn differently each time. So like you could go in and handle something one way, die, and then go back in, and it's going to be completely different the next time. There's no like kind of getting the hang of how to do something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a particular area.
Yeah.
And so I was underground. You got your little spotlight, of course, and you can hear them just like growling, screaming, like echoing all around you. And you'll run. I'm like, fuck it. I'll just run. Because when you kill something in this game, they don't drop anything. There's literally no benefit except survival to actually killing something. There's no loot. You don't get anything special for killing anything.
Yeah.
Besides a human, you could loot their body. And so a lot of stuff I'll just run past. I'm not going to waste resources trying to kill that. And ran past. Oh, you got the pizza?
Yep. Just 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Bloodsuckers. All that.
That's pretty. I don't even know how to like describe it. It's so good. And it's really hard. It's getting like really, really hard. It was hard the whole way, but it's one of these games you have to level up your gear or you're going to hit a point where like you just can't progress.
Okay.
And I think I'm kind of hitting the point where I'm like, I might need to go do some exploring and just upgrading my shit because I'm starting to kind of get wrecked.
Yeah. So is it a situation where you kind of have to, like we talked about, you don't really level up as a character, you just find better stuff around the world, right?
Yeah, there's different suits of armor or, armor that you can find. You can upgrade the armor. There's these things called artifacts that you can find, which are basically like, I don't know, little power-ups, and they do different things. So you can find better of those, and you can find better weapons. So your character doesn't get upgraded necessarily, but just the gear that you use can.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, but as far as the difficulty of like a fight, like let's say you've got gear that is level to the level of whatever enemy you're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a matter of like understanding how to use cover and dodge and and like transition between like your flashlight and stuff? Like what makes the fighting difficult, or is it literally just like taking hits and staying alive and trying to deal damage as fast as you can?
Cover big time. If you're firefighting between like human enemies, bandits, it's not run and gun. It's definitely not Call of Duty style where you can just kind of gun everybody down. There's not that much ammo for starters.
Yeah.
It's very like cover's your friend, and it's very, pop around the corner. I leave mine on single fire because auto is just way too inaccurate and you just eats bullets.
Yeah.
So you single fire, and it's very pop around the corner. Headshots are headshots unless they have some sort of armor or whatever. So you're single shotting, trying to get headshots. But you're outnumbered quickly. 4 or 5 guys, they'll flank you. So the firefights are pretty realistic. Mutants are more just like dodging, rolling, not getting hit. Those bloodsuckers, if they hit you like 2 times, you die.
Damn.
And they're invisible. So it's just a matter of like dodging. There's different combat styles depending on what you're fighting at the moment.
Yeah. Man. I didn't load it up this weekend, and I kind of regret it.
You can bleed, so you have your health bar, and then you have your health or whatever. But you can also bleed, which requires you have to bandage yourself. Because if you're bleeding, you could get yourself back to full health, but you're going to slowly start losing health until you stop the bleeding. So there's stuff like that too, that you got stamina to worry about, a few things to juggle like while you're in combat.
God. Okay. All right. I like the depth. Here. And it's got me interested. I need to dive in.
It's depth, but it's gameplay depth. It's not menu depth or upgrade depth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's depth within the world, while actually playing.
Do you like when you apply a bandage, do you get like an animation where your guy's actually kind of like taping his wound up and stuff? Okay. That stuff I like. I don't like. I'm with you. Like one of the things that always takes me out of like a Skyrim type game is when it's like you're in a menu and you want to eat, and so you just select the bread and you hear a crunch sound effect.
Right.
You never. You like. I don't know.
In this one, if you eat, he'll take out a little can, pull out his knife, pop the top, and literally eat like an eating animation.
Hell yeah. I get down with that. All right,
Play
Stalker 2. It's calling my name. Got to give it a test. Got to give it a try.
All right.
Meat
sandwich.
So Cody and I talking about just kind of some end of the year musings that we could get into, and we thought it'd be a good idea. This past week was Spotify Wrapped, which is slowly become this kind of like phenomenon. Like every year it gets more and more of a big deal. There's tons of memes. The Spotify Wrapped memes are everywhere. Spotify actually obviously like catching some heat. I don't know if you saw this for using like some AI like text and stuff in their Spotify Wrapped. Like people getting real weird, like obviously AI descriptions of their like musical eras that they had throughout the year. Kind of dumb.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I had one that was like, July was your mall rock moshcore era. And I was like, I've never met anybody who has said those words in that order in my life.
Yeah.
But
I had the same experience. Well,
Yeah.
I don't recall exactly what it said, but it was so out there that I was like, that's obviously some sort of AI or something.
it had to have been. That's some made up ass genres out there. But anyway, it is kind of fun to go back and look at what you expose yourself musically or expose yourself to musically. This probably is going to stand in contrast to your comments a few weeks ago about wanting to have more physical media and canceling your Spotify and stuff. But again, it's like the dishwasher, conundrum, right? We're kind of beholden to this like convenience.
Yes.
In a way that I don't know. Maybe we're stuck with Spotify and Apple Music now, but whatever. But anyway, we thought it'd be fun to go back and kind of revisit some of the stuff that we got into this year and the stuff that really kind of reached out and grabbed us musically. Did you have something that you wanted to throw out there first, Cody?
I screenshotted a couple of my things, so I'll just rattle my top artists. Number 1 this year was Sleep Token for me.
Nice. Yeah.
Which that's not that surprising.
No, not at all.
I spent a lot of time just taken by them. Number 2, Gideon. Also not surprised. That was pretty much my gym. All I played in the gym for what felt like months.
Yeah, they were my number 1.
Number 3, The Devil Wears Prada. I had a Devil Wears Prada phase this year. I think with Roots Above and Branches Below specifically. Number 4, Within the Ruins. Not a big surprise there. Number 5, another kind of weird band that I had a thing with this year, Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah, you had some love affairs with some bands gone by.
I think both of those made What Are You Crushing?
I think they did, actually.
Sleep Token, I was a top 2% fan. Spent 3,148 minutes together.
Very good.
And then my top stream, so a song, I told you this on Saturday night, Too Much Is Never Enough by Gideon. I was in the top 0.005% of listeners globally. So I propped that song up for sure. Propped it up.
Very good.
And Granite was my top Sleep Token song. So a few screenshots there. I think all that checks out. I don't see anything on that list. Nothing really, surprised me or anything. Now, I'll tell you right now, had I discovered this Make Them Suffer album any earlier, it would definitely make this list because I'm about to be wearing this thing out. What about you?
So I can go through mine here as well. So my number 1, actually, I thought it was Gideon. I misspoke there. It might have been number 1 for one of the months that I was looking at. My number 1 artist overall this year, Within the Ruins.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
My number 2 is Stephen Price. I don't remember.
Who is that?
I don't even remember. Hang on. I'm going to screen cap this so I can look, actually. I don't remember who Stephen Price is. If I knew Stephen
Price. Gravity. This Is Our Planet. Machine.
Hold on. Let me see.
Something from
is there something that of his that I listened to? Oh, I know who Stephen Price is. Stephen Price is the composer who did the soundtrack for the movie Fury, the tank movie. And I did listen to the fuck out of that album. That is a really good excuse me, a really good like orchestral album. So okay, that makes sense.
Number 2 artist though.
Number
that
2.
is
I did go a couple
wild.
months where I was listening to a lot of that soundtrack. A lot. Number 3, dear friends of ours, Left to Suffer.
All right.
Yeah. Number 4 ended up being that band Catch Your Breath, that has that song Dial Tone. I think I shared it with you. It's very singy.
Yeah.
Not a lot of screamage in that one. But I think I played that song so much that it got them in the top 5. And
That's
then
pretty crazy.
And then my number 5 was Make Them Suffer.
Really?
Yeah.
No Sleep Token.
No Sleep Token, which was surprising. Although, this year was the year that I switched from Apple Music to Spotify. So I think there was a lot of Sleep Token that was not represented in my Spotify listening.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a several months love affair with that with Take Me Back to Eden. So I think had I made the switch to Spotify earlier in the year, that would have absolutely presented in my top 5.
Couple honorable mentions for me. They didn't show up because I discovered them later, but 2024 drops. The 4 Year Strong band that I mentioned a couple weeks ago, their album Analysis Paralysis, which I'm still a jamming, very, very good. Came out this year in 2024, so that one's great. And then the other one is, I also mentioned them a few weeks ago, Throne. Excessive Guilt. That came out in 2024 as well. So those 2 albums and this Make Them Suffer, I don't know which one's going to be ATOY.
Do you so we've done the Wrapped portion. I kind of want to know specifically just from you. Maybe you had a favorite that didn't meet the volume requirements to be like your number 1, by analytics standpoint, but if you had to go back, an album that came out this year that had you in a death grip, what would it be, do you think?
It would be, let me verify this came out this year. It would be Phenomena 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
it would be that.
I think Within the Ruins, I don't know, I said ruins.
Ruins.
Within the Ruins, cool whip. Within the Ruins, Phenomena 2 is the closest thing I got this year to a front to back.
Yeah.
Just doesn't let up, doesn't stop. Every song feels important. Every song matters on that album. It is just nonstop goodness.
That's the type of album I want to buy and own.
Absolutely. I could see myself owning a hard copy of that album, and if I was only going to buy one album this year, it would most assuredly be that one. That one was just so consistently good. Each song was consistently good. It starts good, it ends good, the middle's good. It's just really, I can't even think of a weak point, honestly.
No, there is none. That I will circle back to that at some point. I kind of wore it out. I every day for weeks after it came out, I wore it out. That's kind of a fun thing, though. What if you just purchased each year your album of the year? So then in like 5 years or 10 years in your iTunes or whatever, you just had the best album of each year for the last however many years.
Yeah, I guess kind of by that theory, maybe I feel like at that point, like, and I know this is not something you are necessarily as like into, but record players do hit different from a sound perspective. I would buy a vinyl pressing of my album of the year.
Yeah.
So like,
it'd be cool.
Put it on at a party or something.
You have like a time capsule of like, here's the top music of the last X amount of years.
It would be cool to like leave something like that to my kids and grandkids. Like, hey, every year Grandpa bought one record on vinyl. Let's see what his 2024 was looking like. Sounded like, I guess.
Phenomena 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I think honestly for me that's probably my album of the year. Okay, unrelated, do you have a song of the year? Just a single track that just reached out and you carried it with you from the start to the finish?
I've already mentioned it, but it would have to be did that even come out this year? Maybe not. I was gonna say the Gideon, that too much is never enough, but did that even come out this year?
Oh, that is a good question. Let me hold on one sec. Searching.
Nope, 2023.
2023. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean that was definitely in the running last year. We did have, let's see. I'm trying to think of a song. I don't think there's a song. I will say, and I know you're not as big a fan of them, but Veil of Maya did drop an album. Although, again, I'm going to have to check that it came out this year. I want to say it was very, very early in the year. Not Veil of Maya.
Since we're big on circling back to music, I feel like I run into this issue. My top song won't even be from that year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We do a lot of circling back. That Veil of Maya album came out in 2023 as well. I must have like stacked the end of the year last year because some of these don't feel like they've been out
for that long.
More than like if they've been out a year, it's like barely a year.
Right.
Like Gideon. I mean, it feels like that just came out 6 months ago.
I know.
And I've already blown it to pieces. So yeah, my one song that I would say I like kind of carried around all year. If anything, it was a lot of Sleep Token. For sure. Specifically Take Me Back to Eden, but their older stuff
that was 2023 too.
Yeah. I will say Kublai Khan, came out with another record this year that was pretty good. It's some good gym crushing tunes that I really enjoy. We got Ant Pile 2. We got.
I was gonna ask, have you latched on to their newest album?
So what's funny about that is it almost kind of breaks the rule in and of itself because 3 or 4 of the songs on there, which are good, also got kind of released piecemeal throughout the last year or 2 years. Like Theory of Mind came out. I want to say that might be even a 2022, if not an early 2023 track. But that is kind of one of the flagship songs on the album. But the album itself didn't come out until August, September. So
right.
So kind of a conundrum there, but yeah, the album proper did come out, and I will say that's a good one. It's probably not my top. It's just not, it's Kublai Khan, right? Like it's good in its own way, but it doesn't have the virtuosity that Phenomena 2 does for me.
No, I didn't grab onto it as much as their Absolute album either. That's the one that kind of like when you really, really put me onto them. That's the album that I latched onto. Boomslang.
Yeah, Boomslang and all that stuff is good. I will say I like this album better than that.
Really?
Yeah, I
okay.
do, yeah.
Then maybe I need to give it more of a try.
It's good. It feels kind of short, honestly, but it's just short enough to like occupy a hour and 10-minute gym session. So
perfect.
They might have done that on purpose even.
I'm talking about short. That Throne album, I swear, is like 30 minutes long, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'll find let's see, it's right here. 20 minutes. Yeah, okay. I'm about to say, I feel like about halfway through my workout, it's
over.
Closing out. Yeah. I'm like, well.
Yeah. Yeah. Another kind of a quick shout out to a band I kind of just caught on to in the past month or so here, but oh my God, why am I having a brain fart again? The Pretty Reckless sings that song.
Familiar.
Oh no, sorry, The Pretty Wild. Different W word.
Never mind.
The Pretty Wild. They have a song called Sleepwalker, which is freaking phenomenal. Really, really, really good. Female fronted kind of deathcore new metal band. It's heavy as fuck. I love it.
Oh yeah.
They've got some other ones. They have a song called Black Ops, actually. That's got some pretty dope parts on it. So yeah, they seem pretty cool. But yeah, The Pretty Wild. I think The Pretty Reckless is like Taylor Momsen's band from the girl from The Grinch.
Oh,
yeah,
Cindy Lou Who?
Yeah, she grew up and has a band now. I don't know if that's it. I don't know.
Oh, 2 girls.
Yeah, The Pretty Wild.
Did you already say that?
Yeah, but Sleepwalker is a heater, man.
All right, I got it right here.
Yeah.
They like their uppercase, lowercase, don't they?
They do. Yeah, it's very cool.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Check this out. Are they a two-piece?
They have a band. I want to say one does the kind of the screaming stuff, and the other does the singing as well.
Dude, the contrast. If there's a good female vocalist, maybe not even screaming. I think that's why I'm so drawn to this Make Them Silver album. The contrast of just skull crushing heaviness with these just like belting, high pitched female lead choruses. It's like salty sweet.
Yeah.
It's like chocolate and peanut butter. It's
really
just two
is.
different things that go together so nicely.
It really is, man. I love the dynamics of that. It makes it much more symphonic to me, man. Like to be able to, like you got your spites and your thrones and your Kubla Khans, right? That are just like crush, 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 crush. And almost for them, a singing part would not benefit them.
Right.
But, I for the large part, I think I'm really into this kind of like current phase of like heavy, 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 soft, heavy, 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 soft.
Yeah. If you can make me want to run my head through a wall and like belt out at the top of my lungs singing all in the same song, you got a winner.
There you go. Yeah. It's hard to do.
Winner.
It's hard to master that.
It is.
So, I'm trying to think any last minute musical shout. Oh, excuse me.
I feel like some of my favorites have popped up late this year. I need to start making. I have the worst memory ever. We do this every year, and I'm just like racking my brain trying to remember anything I listen to. Next year, I'm going to make it a point to, like, as we progress through the year, maybe take some notes. I don't know. Just, I don't know. Be able to like have a more in-depth conversation when it comes to this, because there's a lot of music for sure, and I'm just not.
I feel like I would be better equipped if I didn't have to I mean, like I literally had to rebuild all my playlists and listening profile brick by brick when I switched to Spotify. So, that did kind of like give me like a blank canvas to work with, but also I don't really feel like I have not taken the time to achieve the level of organization that I had on Apple Music. Cause when I first got that, I was like, I want this here, I want this here, I want this group, this group. Haven't done that, so
I haven't either, and I've had Spotify forever. I would love to have my music more organized. There's 0.0 organization in my Spotify. It's just, you good?
Yeah, thought I heard something. Oh, good.
I just work out of my home menu. Like half the time, that's why whatever circles back does circle back, because it'll be like jump back into or whatever. And as things kind of come back up on that homepage, that's usually the only reason I like remember it and dive back in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyways,
Wrapped, baby. Fun stuff. Let's hit a couple write-ins. Let's send these people out with some mailbox lovin's.
Let's do it. Do it. Brave Athos. I'm going to work newest back to oldest because I don't know where we left off. So,
all right. Sounds good.
Not so much a question, but more of a recommendation / what I am crushing. Cody, you mentioned how Stalker 2, thank you for knowing that, has grabbed you. And a few weeks back, Josh was vampire slaying like it was going out of style. I downloaded this little indie game known as Balatro, available on Switch, and I'm fairly certain every other console and even iOS. It's basically a modified game of poker, but much like the game Gwent in Witcher 3, it's got a lot of depth, and holy hell is it addicting. It's worth every penny if you're looking for a game that can be enjoyed for 10 minutes or a couple hours. Josh, have you heard of Balatro?
So funny enough, the Get Played, which is the video game podcast I really enjoy and I listen to every week, they were talking about Balatro today. And they've been kind of talking about Balatro. And I'm going to throw this out there right now. The idea of a card game on a phone, no. Absolutely does not sound interesting. However, it does sound like people are getting their frontal lobe scratched with this game big time. I'm not a poker player. I actually don't really care for card games too much. I will play them begrudgingly. I tried to get into Marvel Snap when that came out, and everyone was kind of like, "Oh, Marvel Snap is awesome," and I played like 3 rounds and didn't get it. That said,
Is that a card game or like a iOS game?
Marvel Snap's like a card game. It's like a card
Okay.
collecting game. It's not.
Okay.
It's not so much like Balatro sounds like you're playing poker, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what it looks like here.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to play poker.
You don't know how to
Do you know
play,
how?
like Hold'em or anything?
I can play. Is that the one where it's like 21 or you can't bust or whatever?
That's blackjack.
Okay, I know how to play that. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no, I don't
like Hold'em is so you just really all you need to learn is like your suits, like your flush, your 4 of a kind, 2 of
Yeah.
a kind, all that stuff. Once you know that, you can play any poker game. You just have
Okay.
to know.
I don't know that. so
Most
I'd
of
have
the
to learn.
time, you're just like you get a hand, and it's the difference of like, are you drawing a card? Are you discarding? Or is there like a flop or whatever?
Right.
And then you just kind of as long as you're trying to get the cards that you want so you can win.
Well, reviews for Balatro would seem to agree with Brave Athos. Out of 24,000 reviews, 5 stars.
Damn. Just
5 stars on 24,000 reviews.
just clears. That's insane.
A 5, can you see that? A 5.0.
Damn.
Wild.
Might have to check out Balatro, man. Might have to see what all the buzz is about.
With the right recommendation, you can try something that you wouldn't have otherwise tried. Thanks,
Well,
Brave Athos.
Yeah, Brave
Maybe.
Ethos bringing us the right recommendation, perhaps.
Maybe we will report back.
Maybe.
KC2487.
Hey, we got a newbie. We got a newbie in the chat. All
Yeah.
right, Casey.
Welcome, Casey.
Welcome.
I don't know if your name's Casey or like if it's KC like Kansas City, but as both of you are guitar enthusiasts, what are your favorite guitars to play, and what would you recommend as a good left-handed guitar for a beginner who is learning? It's very specific.
This is very specific.
Left-handed beginner.
Yeah. I don't want to speak for Cody here, but he and I have both owned LTD, which is ESP's kind of more economic, cost-efficient line. I've never owned
Great value.
Never owned an ESP like made in Japan, $3,000-$4,000 guitar. Don't care to. I have played LTDs for many years. I've owned several. I own 2 right now. Love them. LTDs are great starter guitars. They make great my first guitars. They do have left-handed options. They're very solidly built. They're very sturdy, reliable instruments. Absolutely 100% if you're looking for an entry-level to mid-grade guitar, LTD is absolutely your friend.
Get an EC, an Eclipse, and call it a day.
Yeah. One of their Cody's got one on the wall back there. They're great guitars, man. LTD or ESP LTD. If you have the money, honestly, if I had the money to get an ESP, I would probably just buy 3 LTDs. Honestly.
What is have you ever played a ESP proper?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't feel any different, really.
It's like more expensive wood. The one I've played didn't really have a setup on it, so honestly, it was not great anyway.
What's the most expensive guitar you've ever played? Anything jump out?
I don't really know. I think I've played a couple Les Pauls and SGs, and those usually run about $1,000 to $1,200, which is I would never spend that on a guitar. I have my Telecaster, which is it's a Mextel, so it's not it's not one of the more pricey ones. It's probably I think they probably MSRP for like $700 or $800.
There's something kind of charming about the not too low end, but kind of like the mid lower end guitar that you can. I don't know. It's got some wear on it. It's got some character to it. You know, it's not this $4,000 machine that you're scared to like even set against the wall.
And here's the thing too, like if your thing is like, well, they come with cheaper hardware, they come with cheaper pickups. you can fix all of that. You can take a guitar that costs you $400 and get Fishman pickups or EMGs or whatever you want to load that thing up with. And then you have a nicer guitar. You can put a new nut. You can put a new bridge on it. If you don't know how to do any of that, you probably have a local music shop who does.
Yeah.
Just do that.
And it's more yours now. It's a
Yeah.
more customized, unique instrument. It's got your own personal touch to it.
There you go. LTD. Rock and roll.
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah. Great question.
All right. Let's do one more. If this one's a bust, we'll do one more. Edward Pelou. With he said RGP. I assume he means RPG games. What is better, realism or fantasy with magic? I go for both, but I'm hyped for Come Deliverance 2 coming out next year. It's set in a real 14 square kilometer map in the 14th century Bohemia, made by a Czech studio that goes for historical realism. Any of that ring in anything for you?
Listen, man, I have a hard time getting into fantasy. I really do.
Yeah.
Everyone said Baldur's Gate 3 was awesome. Haven't touched it. I don't like, there's so many other worlds to play in.
Yeah.
And it's not that fantasy's bad or boring. Love Lord of the Rings. I like The Witcher. I didn't really get into Game of Thrones, but it's fine. I just don't understand why everyone wants to do Swords and Dragons and Realms and shit.
Right.
That stuff. And they all, I guess because of Dungeons and Dragons, they all kind of obey the same rules. And so a lot of these characters do the same shit in every iteration or every game or every. So fantasy just doesn't, like, everyone, is playing like Dragon's Dogma and Dragon Quest and all that stuff. I gotta tell you, man, those games fly right by me, and I don't even blink. I don't even blink. I did enjoy The Witcher, and I did enjoy Skyrim, and that might be the two fantasy games, like RPGs, that I've ever played and had any kind of like long-term success with. So,
yeah,
that is it.
No, I'm with you there. Maybe even more extreme, because I don't know that I've ever spent any significant amount of time with any fantasy game at all. Really, I don't hate it, but it's not that interesting of a world to me.
It's not what I like.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. I think I realized that stuff like Stalker, that type of world, like a wasteland or like a dystopia, that really scratches an itch for me. After being in this game and in this world for so long, I'm itching to find other things like it. Just something about a world that once was and is no longer.
Sure.
Something is so interesting about that. Something kind of frozen in time. Just apocalyptic wasteland dystopia. That stuff is right up my alley. I love that.
I agree. And I think that's why pound for pound, like if I look at my hour count on like Skyrim versus Fallout, Fallout is way ahead. I've played way more Fallout than I have Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls games. I would much rather, and it's not necessarily the guns, although that is a part of it. Ranged combat rules, man. Like if we're shooting stuff, I'm already kind of halfway there. If we're chopping stuff, I'm halfway out.
Yeah. Melee combat can be so hit or miss too, man. Like guns generally feel pretty good at worst.
Yeah.
Melee combat can be straight dog shit a lot of the times, unless they get it really well.
It can. I remember like when Oblivion came out.
Yeah.
And how the hand just kind of whooshes in the same X pattern across the screen.
Yeah.
And the enemies don't even react to that. Like you'll be hitting them and they're like, ugh. Ah,
right.
Ugh. And it was like, how is this the height of the tech? I mean, like, I understand, like, looking back, like, that was, coming up on 20 years ago now. Jesus. But, you know, and they fixed some of that in Skyrim, you know what I mean? But even still, like now I will say, like, Witcher has really fun sword combat. There's some really good, like, swishing and parrying and stuff like that. Now, okay, I will say another exception to the fantasy genre, because I did throw out there that I named my dog after this, but Legends of Zelda is fun. But that almost, like, those games are not, they kind of stand in their own category to me.
Yeah.
They disobey a lot of the conventions of typical fantasy, for one. But yeah, I do like Zelda.
Good question.
Yep.
We'll continue. We do have a few built up, but let's save them for next time.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a mailbag in the works that we'll work on. Hey, want to thank you guys for tuning in. Episode 56. Holidays are upon us. Want to remind you guys to check on your people, right? Check on your people. Make sure everyone's okay. If you got a friend or a loved one in your life with no plan for Christmas or Christmas Eve, hey, let's get them in there, right? Let's make sure they're thought about. You know what I mean? Invite them to your shindig. Invite them to your Christmas party. Give them somewhere to hang out. And yeah, if you're one of those people, hey, take care of yourself, right? Don't drink too much. Go to the gym. Get yourself something nice. Find someone to be with.
Yep.
Yeah, don't be alone. Don't be alone.
Don't be alone.
Don't
check on your friends and don't be alone.
Do not be alone. Hey, I want to thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah.
You're listening to
Bad
The
Jab
Hardpoint
blessings
with One Punch Dad
from
and
Santa
Code
Claus upon your little heads. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
For 57.
57. Get fisted.
My fists are hungry. Bye.